Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday night principal call. Fresh off of a DE that was fantastic. Before we get to our speaker, we do have our announcements. So we just finished the winter one. So now we're into spring 2026, April 16th through the 19th at the Sheridan Key Resort. And then summer back up to Atlanta, July 16th through the 19th. Fall, October 22nd to the 25th. Both of those will be at that Atlanta Marriott Perimeter Center. And then the next slide will probably be the teams. And then we have the teams. Now, again, we ask that we try to be interactive with our teams. So hopefully you have names and telephone numbers that if you need something, you can call any one of us. Or if you want to share a success, call us, let us know. We just want us all to be successful when we leave DE. So tonight, we have a relatively newbie to DE. And I say relatively, he has a second one in, but he is not new to the principle. He is steeped in the principle of chiropractic, and he runs a very successful chiropractic offices in New York. And I'm sure he's just going to pour into us everything he loves about chiropractic and himself and his life that he has built. So let's have a great welcome for Dr. Sheridan Mish. Take it away.
Hey, thank you so much, Mindy, for the introduction. I am honored to have been invited to speak to all of you and to be on this Band of Brothers Principled Chiro broadcast. I feel as though when I've gone to DE the past two times, and those were my first two times going to DE, that I just knew so many people because I watch this broadcast every week. I watch it on Wednesdays on YouTube, the replay. I'll and I say watch. I actually listen to it because I listen to it when I'm out on my run. I just want to just have the principle just coming into my neurology and just absorbing it and just hearing so many people's stories. And I just want to share my story with all of you today and give a little bit extra beyond that. So thank you so much. When I talk about my story, I'll start with how I ended up starting to go to the chiropractor and how that led to me becoming a chiropractor. My mom, and actually, let me actually start prior to my mom. I'll start with my family. I'm the oldest of three brothers. My mom and dad I'm very blessed to have fantastic, loving parents. And my dad was very involved coaching sports with us kids. And he was coaching my middle brother, his hockey team. And what ended up happening, though, my father was a type 1 diabetic. And with that comes cardiovascular issues. And unbeknownst to anyone, he ended up having an aneurysm in the circle of Willis, and it ended up bursting one day at the age of 40. So no warning, no signs, no symptoms, just gone like that. My mom had to step up, and she ended up as a single mom, a widowed mom. She just gave everything to us kids. And she was now responsible for getting us where we needed to go. My mom dropped my brother off at hockey. Normally my dad would have been there at the rink coaching my brother. So my mom dropped him off. She went to go run some errands. She's sitting at the bottom of a hill at a stoplight, and it's wintertime, it's hockey season, and this dump truck is just coming down the hill and it can't stop and just smacks right in the back of the car, totals the car. My mom's hurt, injured. Nobody in my family had ever been to a chiropractor before. My mom had friends who said, you need to see a chiropractor. And she was referred to see Doctors Bill and Mary Yoder. So my mom is going to the Yoders. She's getting better. While this is happening, it's hockey season. I end up getting body checked into the boards. The door opens up. I end up getting hit into the corner of the door. Half my body goes onto the bench. The other half is on the ice, and I end up injuring my back. I can't stand up. I'm 14 years old. I'm carried off the ice, take my equipment off. I go to the urgent care. My mom takes me there. They don't take any x-rays. They just give me muscle relaxers, painkillers, and anti-inflammatories, tell me to just rest in bed. So I spend the next week in bed, suffering. Nothing's getting better. My mom's still going to Doctors Bill and Mary, and they're saying, bring Sheridan in, bring Sheridan in, bring Sheridan in. And so a week goes by. My mom finally brings me in. They do an exam. They take x-rays, find the areas of subluxation, adjust me, and like that, I'm standing up straighter. I'm back to school the next day, back to hockey the next night. I mean, as a teenager, I'm just getting my life back. I'm so excited for that. So I'm going to the chiropractors, and my mom's going, and my 8-year-old brother was a bedwetter. And so Bill and Mary, they're saying, bring him in, bring him in, bring him in. So my mom brings him in. He starts getting adjusted, stops wetting the bed. My 2-year-old brother was always on antibiotics, constant chronic ear infections. Of course, Bill and Mary were saying, bring him in, bring him in, bring him in. So my mom brings in my 2-year-old brother. He starts getting adjusted. The ear infections go away. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. I don't know where she had the money. I mean, we were not well off. My dad worked retail. My mom was always a stay-at-home mom. But she found a way to continue to pay for us to go and see Doctors Bill and Mary. And we're going to the chiropractor on a regular basis. I mean, that's what I knew going through high school, was seeing the chiropractor on a regular basis for well-being, to live our best lives. Of course, Dr. Bill and Mary Yoder, they were life grads. I'm not sure if they went to DE, but I got to imagine, I mean, listen, back then, if you're going to life, I mean, Sid, you're just living those principles. You're living that dynamic essential: to give, to do, to love, to serve. And that's just what I knew chiropractic to be. Principled chiropractic with that love. And that's what I knew. And as I'm going to them on a regular basis, Dr. Bill would say, you should be a chiropractor. You should be a chiropractor. You should be a chiropractor. So he's just planting those seeds in my head. And I wasn't sure that that's what I wanted to do. It was an option. I knew I wanted to help people. And I'd had a shoulder injury playing hockey and went to physical therapy. And I was really good in the sciences and math. And so guidance counselors are telling me, you should go be a pharmacist, and telling me how much money you can make. So I'm considering all of those things. Now, good thing that it didn't matter if you wanted to be a PT, a DC, or a pharmacist, that the same courses were required in undergrad. So I go to undergrad, at least I'm going into those health sciences. And I started to go and shadow. I started to go and spend time in chiropractic offices and PT offices and at pharmacies. And it didn't take me long to just know that I was meant to be a chiropractor. I couldn't stand to be behind some desk just pushing pills. That wasn't how I was raised. And the PT, that was interesting, but it just wasn't in my soul. It wasn't in who I was. Going to the chiropractors and seeing what it was all about, and just the difference it made. And I got to actually just give a shout out, because it was Dr. Ed Casper, Dr. Jim Casper, Dr. Joel Barbara in Utica, New York. They are just awesome chiropractors. And they all just really mentored me, took me under the wing, gave me an opportunity to flourish, and just supported everything that I knew. So not only did I get it from Doctors Bill and Mary Yoder, but from other chiropractors in the area. Utica's got great chiropractors in this area. And I'm thankful to have an office in the Utica area. That's where I was raised. And so when I was looking at where to go to chiropractic college, I really didn't consider where I was going to go to too much in depth, because my high school sweetheart, Irene, and I, we were together since we were 14, and doing the things that teenagers do. Well, we ended up having our daughter, Allison, at the age of 18. So being close to home was an important thing for us. And with New York Chiropractic College being just an hour and a half down the road, down I-90, it was an easy thing to just stay close and go there. And NYCC in the philosophy game, not too strong. And looking back at it now, I mean, back then when I was there graduating in 99, it was way better than it is now. And even then, it was worse than it had been probably 20 years before that. I'm thankful, though, that I knew what chiropractic was when I went into chiropractic college. And I'm thankful for that mentorship that I had from great chiropractors in the area. So when I got there and I enrolled, I was like, what is this? This is not chiropractic. But I knew what it was. And so I was able to find that close-knit group of friends that together we were able to help navigate through the nonsense, through the bureaucracy that came with a oppressive environment in the philosophical world for students at that institution. But I was able to get through. I did great on the boards. I didn't need to take any extra study courses in order to pass. I just breezed right through. So I was thankful for the education that I got there, but also thankful knowing what chiropractic is going in. So I get through school. It's time to open up practice or make a decision what I'm going to do. And Irene and I, we considered some different places where we wanted to live and practice and raise our family. Our son, Andrew, was born when I was in my 10th trimester of school. And so we had this family and really needed to get after it. We were considering New Hampshire. We looked at some properties. Things didn't work out there. And so we decided to stay close to home. We didn't want to be in our hometown of Utica. So what I did was I basically took a map and drew a half an hour circle around Utica and tried to find a place that was close enough to home that we could get home to our families. I mean, just a half hour away, but far enough that people weren't going to be knocking on our door. Sometimes you need a little space. And listen, even Jesus had a tough time converting people in his hometown. So sometimes you gotta go a little bit further away and get that following, and then maybe you come back home, and that's what we did ultimately after time. So I opened up my my first office in Canastota, New York, which is where the Boxing Hall of Fame is, the International Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota, New York. And the reason why I opened up there, because I looked at a lot of different places, it was the mayor, Mayor Mark Lavonis. When I would go to the different towns and villages and I would meet with people, I would go to the Chamber of Commerce, I would go to the town village offices. And when I went to Canastota, they said, you've got to meet the mayor. And they went back, got the mayor. He came out. He said, come back. And he sat with me, asked me a bunch of questions, talked with me. I was probably there for an hour. And he said, this town could really use a chiropractor. He said, in fact, right across the street, there's some open office space. I can give you the contact info of the people that own the building. And then he said, if you open up, you come back and let me know, and my wife will be your first patient. So after consideration and continuing to look around, I was like, this is the place to be. So we rented that space across the street. And after I signed the lease, I came right back across, knock on that door. And I said, Mayor Lavonis, I said, I am glad to have decided to open up here in Canastota. And he made good on his word. He referred his wife to be the first patient in my office. And I'm thankful for that opportunity to have be of service. And it just really was a great place to start, to raise a family. And then from there, we ended up moving back to the Utica area, moved to New Hartford, and I had to open an office there. And then during COVID, we ended up buying a house in Long Lake, which is 2 hours away, and opened a home office there. And another chiropractor about an hour from there was looking to retire and contacted me and said, you want to buy my office? I was not interested. But he was principal chiropractor, and it just was the right fit. And so my heart, my love, my compassion to serve people and just be a lover for people with chiropractic was, I did it. So here I am with 4 offices. It's unconventional, but sometimes my heart makes the decision more than the most intellectual choice to make. It's a little crazy, some might say. But I got to tell you that what DE has done for me has been consistency of principle. And I'm thankful for Jeff Arnell for reaching out to me after an infamous event that happened when I was at a Yankee Red Sox game and had mismatched outfits, and he saw I was a Mets fan, and I was on the Rich Eisen podcast, and Jeff Arnell reached out to me. And I'd always known what DE was. I was aware of it. I just never went. But I was steeped in the philosophy and the principle. And so Jeff, just our relationship developed quickly. We spent a lot of time together, he and I, and his wife Miriam, and my wife Irene, and our kids. It's just been a great thing. And eventually, with Jeff getting the opportunity to speak at DE at the end of 2025, I'm committed to people who are committed to me. And I just, when he was invited to speak, I said, I have to be there, have to support, and brought my whole crew. There were 6 of us that showed up, and we're all in, and we're signed up as a member and came to the last DE, 7 of us, bringing students, bringing the team. And the next DE, Sheridan is going to be at the Sheraton. And I'm bringing all 3 of my kids, because my daughter Allison is in the office working, but we're going to bring our son, Andrew, as well as our youngest daughter, Autumn, who they're adult kids. But they're all coming. Back in the day, we used to go to different chiropractic conferences and bring them along. So not to be lost on the purpose of what DE represents, and that is staying true to the principle. I want to talk about some principle, and I'm going to go right here to volume 14, Stevenson's text, because one of the things that I find is key is consistency. Just like in the morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is I look at my wife and I say, I love you, and I give her a kiss. That's how I start every day. And then I head to the bathroom and I start reading chiropractic philosophy. Every day, that's how I start my day. And I'm reading chiropractic philosophy. It's the first thing I want going in my head. I want to just be immersing myself in that on a regular basis. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about principles. It's Article 22, not Principle 22, Article 22, because it's Article 24 that lists the 33 principles. And if you've read Stevenson's text, it's so logical. The logic of chiropractic philosophy is abundant. So Article 22, just to read a small part of that, is the principles of a science are its governing laws. These may be the fundamental truths upon which it is founded, or the governing rules of conduct or operation. Any human doctrine or belief has its fundamentals upon which it is based. And any human activity has its settled rules of action, which guides these activities in the most expeditious and efficient manner. I love considering the language that's used, expeditious and efficient manner. So I want to go and just read the definition. When you read expeditious, means acting with speed and efficiency, getting something done quickly and effectively without wasting time or effort. It implies not just being fast, but also being thorough and getting the right result, making it a formal word often used in legal, business, and formal context to describe prompt, well-executed action. And if you read the definition of efficient, it means performing or functioning in the best possible way, achieving desired results with the least waste of time, effort, resources, or energy. It describes being productive, capable, and competent. An efficient person or system gets things done well without being wasteful. I think about what we're being called to do as principal chiropractors, as DE chiropractors, to be going and high volume, and high volume might be a relative term, but if you're challenged with getting and being at a 300 adjustments per week number, that requires that expeditious and efficiency. I mean, it's right here in the green books. Stevenson's writing about it. The very next page is Article 23, the principles of chiropractic. A fundamental principle of chiropractic is a statement of the quality or actions of intelligence in matter, which will include any and all circumstances that may arise in study. And when we consider study, it's not about just sitting back. It requires the active study. We need to get into the books. We need to be reading. That's what we're being charged with. Reading Dede, reading BJ, reading Stevenson, reading Stevenson. What I just said. Reading. I mean, gosh, I'm thinking about getting into the blue books. Reading Reggie Gold, reading Sigafus, reading Sinat, reading Senzan. Gosh, I mean, I'm reading all of these books. Reading Steve Judson. I mean, reading Dr. Sid. Before I even came to DE, I'd already read the Meadowlands Experience. I'd already read Wake Up Humans. This was just there. I was so looking forward to getting DE for the first time. And I am so thankful to be a part of the DE family. I'm thankful to have this opportunity to speak tonight. And I look forward to deepening the relationships with so many of you who I've seen speak on this broadcast, who I've seen speak on and heard speak on stage. And I know it takes time to develop the relationships. And I look forward to seeing you in April. So thank you so much for having me on. And with that, it's all going to be okay. Take positive action.
Positive action expeditiously and efficiently, for sure. Sheridan, what is the sign over your right shoulder on the wall right there, your divider?
Oh, yeah. I've got epigrams in all of my offices. I have the epigrams. I say the epigrams, but a variety. I mean, there's many. But yeah, that one says chiropractic like gravity works whether you believe it or not. I mean, drop the keys.
And do you share those epigrams with your patients as part of your table talk with them?
Oh yeah, I mean it's all around the office. It's in the adjusting suites. It's in the exam rooms. It's in the reception area. It's all around in all of our offices, and that's it. We're talking chiropractic neurology. We're talking chiropractic philosophy, and then we're doing the art on the tables.
That's excellent. I love the way you say chiropractors. Like it reminds me of Barge. That's how he used to say tours at the end of it. It just highlights us to just a higher level of loving. I loved it. Thank you so much for telling us who you are, because I know you came with a big crowd, but you kind of stayed with your big crowd and then turned around and you weren't in the room anymore. So I'm so happy to start to get to know you, and I look forward to deepening that relationship in April and seeing your children with you, or your grown kids.
Yes.
We appreciate you doing this for us. We really do. Have an awesome week. Have an awesome 12 weeks. And I love and appreciate you. Good night, everybody.